Hi guys, this is Pradeep. Hope we are doing good. So after having a very good response on my previous video, which is I prepared a couple of days before, that is month-end activities part 1. So this will be our second video on month-end activities, and if you have not checked that videos, maybe you can check that video first. In this particular video, I am going to explain the month-end activities, particularly from CO. Again, this will be not the enough that to complete everything related to month-end activities. So this series I will continue. So let's start. In this video, I am going to cover the CO activities, particularly related to our WIP process, variance and all, related to cost calculation and related to cost settlement. So let's take the first point. So first point I have taken here, the cost allocation process. So as you know that before calculation of your actual cost, I'm not talking about the planned cost, I'm talking about the actual cost, because standard cost or planned cost, once you have calculated in a particular period, let's say once in a year, then recurring after like every month or every period, we have to calculate the actual cost. And before actual cost, we have to do lots of allocation process. We have to do lots of allocation. And as you know, there are two types of allocations are there. One is your primary allocations and secondary allocation, which are purely month-end activities. And primary allocation means we are going to use cost elements in ECC. In S4, we don't have the cost element anymore, but particularly we are going to take here the GL account with cost element category 1. So I have taken two examples, one from primary allocations and one from secondary allocation. So in primary allocation, you may use distribution method or period end distribution method. Almost both are the same scenario. Only thing is business transaction will be different. So if you are using period end distribution method, then your business transaction will be RKIB. And if you are using your distribution method, then it will be RKIV. This will be the only difference, otherwise process everything will be same. In both cases, we are using the primary cost element. So why we need to do the cost allocation? I will not go into that process in this particular scenario. I already have video, you can check that. So basically, when we are going to do the we are going to calculate the cost of our activities, which are known as your conversion related cost. So that time we are not going to take the values which is there in the controlling, because cost will always flow from other module. Okay, maybe from finance module, maybe from let's say material cost from MM module. So particularly I'm talking about all our overheads. So overheads are very, very vast concept. So when you are you want to simplify my finance posting. So for that purpose, in my example, I have taken one cost center. Let's say this cost center is 5,000. So all my cost, we are going to record it here. So if I am the finance user, I don't know like in which cost center, how much cost we will record. So for me, I know these are my GR accounts, salary, my fuel cost, my gas cost, my water cost, or different type power cost, different type of cost we have, which we are going to record in the finance books of accounts, so that it will reflect in the income statement. But simultaneously, we have to also capture the cost object. So this one will be your cost object. And in this example, this is my cost center. Now all my cost throughout the month, initially it will be captured with this cost center. So let's say this total cost for this month, it is captured as 20,000 INR. When it was captured, as and when cost recorded or cost incurred, this cost captured by the finance users. Now from this cost center, we have multiple cost centers are there, because in this cost centers, I have different type of cost centers. Some cost centers which are directly integrated with the production cost work centers, means it is integrated with shop floor. Also some cost centers are there which are not integrated with the production, but those also going to have some cost. So let's take this first three cost centers are my production cost center, and these two cost centers are my service cost centers. So this 20,000 cost we need to transfer as a CO user or CO month-end activity point of view. This cost we need to record, or we need to allocate when it will be purely in the month-end activities. So for this, again, you need to have the configuration that will be done by the CO consultant. So they have configured this period and distribution method or distribution method. It is your choice. Let's say in my example, I have taken here period and distribution. So every month user need to run this one, and when before calculation of actual price of these activities. So right now we are not doing any activity price calculation. Simply the person who is responsible for this CO activities, CO month end activities, that person is need to run the month end activities related to primary distribution of cost. So here you can take the example of case W5. So once the case W5 will be executed, then automatically system is going to allocate this cost to various cost centers. As per my example, let's say this is cost center 1, cost center 2, cost center 3, 4 and 5. So after this allocation, there will be a minus 20,000, not one line, multiple lines will be there as per your different GL accounts or different cost components. So once the minus 20,000 recorded here, now this becomes 0. Because initially this cost center having values, now this has become 0, and all cost we allocated to different cost centers, and it is recurring activities and one of your primary allocation, right? And here I have used the GL account for the allocation of cost. I'm repeating, it's allocation of cost. So once the allocation will be done, and this value will be 0. Now here's if it is ECC, when we are going to do this allocation, so one internal document will be generated. Let's say document number is 1300. When we perform this month end activities. So let's say I'm the responsible for this cost allocation, and I executed this case W5, and I got this 1300 document. That's it. And this will be there if you want to link table here. So this will be part of my CO SP table because I'm using GL account. So this table will be there exclusively in ECC. In S4 it is not there. Already in the previous video we discussed about the table one. Now if it is S4, if it is our S4 system, so this process will be same. 1300 document will be generated, and this will be part of my AC docket table, means universal journal table, right? And with reference to that, one reconciliation document will be generated. And last example, if I will take some 70,000 document, let's say generated, which is document type CO. But let's not go into this process. So as a part of first activity, month end allocation point of view, so when user is going to run the cost allocation, primary cost allocation, after that, this cost center, 5,000 cost center will be 0, and all this cost will be transferred or will be allocated to production cost centers. Then as usual, internal documents will be generated, finance document will be generated, and the reconciliation activities automatically it will be done in the S4, whereas in ECC it will be manual. Now let's check it. Now as for my same example, so initially all my cost I recorded with this cost center 5,000, and the total cost is recorded. So wherever you will find the coin transactions are there, so that means during the month this cost was recorded. So here you can see one coin entry here. So all coin transactions means the transactions are initiated from the finance, right? And these are my plus entries. You can see here the plus entries are there wherever it is a coin transaction, like this one, right? And this one a coin transaction. So it is like the cost capture. So it is paid, cost paid. Then in month end, we have the month end allocation execution. After that, you can see all the minus entries are there because this is our sender cost center. In this example, this is our sender cost center, and these RKIV transactions are there. So after that, you can see this cost is 0. That means 100% cost, whatever we have recorded with different vouchers, all this cost we are allocating from this cost center to multiple cost centers. So that's why wherever you will find this RKIB business transaction is there, that is your minus entry because it is your sender cost center. So initially we have values here, then we allocated this cost to various cost center. Now this is it mandatory to follow this process? Particularly if I will take this example, mostly we are using it in business to make the FI portion simple so that FI user will not think how much cost to which cost center they will record. So that's why maybe this can be introduced. If business is saying that we don't want, maybe we can ignore it. So respective cost can be recorded with a specific cost center. But practical point of view, when hundreds of cost components are there, it is very difficult for FI user to record the right cost in a particular cost center, because salary is recorded in one particular cost center, whether it is recorded X, Y, Z. Finance point of view, that is no problem, because anyway this GL account is, let's say if I will take the example of this one, so salary is recorded with a particular cost element, or let's say electricity. So electricity 4001 recorded with, if it is wrongly recorded everything, let's say in Z, then finance point of view there will be no problem. But CO point of view problem will be there, because somewhere cost will be overvalued, somewhere it will be undervalued. So that is why, to make the FI process simple, we used to adopt this type of process. So initially we will capture the cost in one cost center, then after that we will do the allocation. Now check the receiver cost center, next one. Now this one is our receiver cost center. Okay, and here not only one cost center. So this is my cost center. This is another cost center, this is another cost center, this is another cost center. Like this, I have some more cost centers are there, but I just extracted the data up to this much. Now here exactly we'll find the plus entries. You take one example. So 13.73, okay, so it is my RKIV business transaction. Posting date is month and date, 31st July. So exactly its corresponding value where you will find the plus entries, check this one. So 13.75 you will find here in this production cost center. Let's see where it is there. So I can see this one, 13.73, the plus entries. So it is minus entry 13.73 and plus entries that is 13.73. And as we are using here period and distribution, so GL account will be the same. That means it is not secondary cost, it is same GL account we are using. So that is why here we have allocated the cost with GL account 4001 from sender cost center, and it is also 4001, you can see here. So there is no change in the cost. So every minus entries, which is sender cost center, having the plus entries with different cost centers. So this is one of your activities where we did the cost center allocation or cost allocation, but by using GL account. Now there are certain cost centers are there which are not production cost center. So in this coming to the next slide. So now you can see here in my example, there are cost centers are there. One is utility, another one is canteen. Now these cost centers are not producing any product, or it is not helping us in manufacturing. But you can see here, after the first allocation, we are having some plus entries are there, or we are having some cost is there. Now this cost we need to allocate to production cost center. In this case, direct determination cost is not possible. So better we will prefer here to take the values from, we will take this cost to the production cost center as our secondary cost. So here we are using our secondary cost, and this is our secondary allocation after completion of primary allocation. So here you will find also the minus entries are there. Now this one is our sender cost center. This is also month end activities and part of your cost allocation, but secondary cost allocation. And here I have taken the example as assessment cycle. So that is why business transaction RKIU is there. So various type of cost we have captured here from from primary cost element or from sender cost center, the previous example. Now you can see this utility cost. So utility cost captured, or not utility cost, utility department cost captured as salary, electricity, gas, medical expense, various type of cost we have captured from sender cost center. That was 5,000. After that, all this we consolidated, and now we are transferring this cost to production cost center as my maintenance cost. Now in production cost center or in cost of production, we will not find salary, we will not find medical expenditure, rather a different cost will be there. So all these sender entries which are available here, you will find the receiving entries. Now here you can see this maintenance cost. This maintenance cost is coming from a sender cost center, which is minus entry here, plus entries here. Now if I am the finance user, if I will check this report, I can't say, if I will only check this report, I can't say what is 8.60. So 8.860 is maintenance cost, which was not recorded with the finance posting. So if that is why whenever we are using secondary cost with finance posting, it is not possible because it is combination of multiple cost. Now, if I will check this value, this report, then only I can say what is 8.60, because 8.60 is combination of so many primary cost element. So this is my second month-end activity, which is your cost allocation, and that is our secondary cost allocation, which is our month-end activities. Again, in ECC also this process was there. This data, when you will generate, let's say a document generated 1400 document, and this document is part of COSS table because it is secondary cost, and that's it. In S4 it is 1400 is part of AC docket table, and now the corresponding reconciliation document will be there, which is also part of AC docket table. So now you can see exactly all your minus entries which are there in this sender cost center, which is in my example, it is utility, canteen, and you will find that canteen cost included here. So this is my sender cost center. Right, so this is my production cost center, and these are my utility, canteen, my sender cost center. So all these values are available here. Now when we will calculate our actual cost, so that time we will only consider cost center, that is 1, cost center 2, and cost center 3. All other cost we are just going to take into or we will make it 0. Okay, so that is our cost calculation process. So in cost calculation or cost allocation process, which is actually part of your cost calculation, so we have majorly two type of cost calculations are there: primary cost allocation, which I have already explained. Other one, secondary allocation. So in primary allocation, you may use distribution method, or your period and reposting method. In secondary allocation, commonly we are using your assessment example. So assessment you will find always which is there in your business or in real time, because it's very popular, and by using the assessment allocation cycle, which we can allocate different cost from different cost center to any production cost centers. Done. Coming to next one. So we have covered 2 month-end activities. Next one is your overhead calculation. Whenever you are going to calculate your cost of a product, okay, so the components are, we have material cost, which again, we are going to get it from different modules, MM module, PP module, once you will integrate everything. Then we have conversion cost. Now, conversion cost is what? Let's say we need to manufacture this pen. So to manufacture this pen, materials are involved, different activities are involved, different like you can say secondary materials involved, and some surcharge cost is also involved. So altogether, this is my cost of manufacturing of this particular pen. So similarly, when we will do the bifurcation, so we have different components will be there. So material cost and conversion cost. Now, what is conversion cost? Like here some labor deployed, that cost. Again, what is labor cost? That is again multiple primary cost elements included as one secondary cost. Then we have some machinery cost, we have some, let's say, assemble cost, different type of costs will be there, which are there in the production. Now, as a part of CO month-end activities, it is 2 activities are very important. One is revaluation of cost. If you'll check this particular cost calculation sheet, so this cost calculation is there with reference to a particular production order, and here you can see 2 lines are there or 2 columns are there. So one is your planned cost, which is also known as your preliminary cost, and another one is your actual cost. This is I'm showing the final report, but this cost initially it is not properly calculated. It is recalculated. So in month end, recalculation is one process is there, and once you will complete all your month end activities, like these cost allocations are done, and you have cost splittings also completed, then after that we are going to do the revaluation of cost. So initially this cost calculated, let's say my planned cost is per hour it is 2 rupees, and how many hours required? So required 3 hours. So 3 hours, and per hour cost is 2 rupees INR. Now what is my cost if I will take the labor cost? So this labor cost is 6, 3 into 2. Now this quantity is correct because we confirm this quantity is from the production. So this quantity is actual value, but this one is planned value too. So that means it is not properly calculated. So in month end, this need to be revaluation. We have to perform the revaluation of this activity. So that is also again month end activities. Once you have calculated your actual price of activities, so all these costs need to be reevaluated. So this is again one of the month end activities. And once you will complete the revaluation of cost, that is next will be our overhead calculation, because when you are going for cost calculation, different stages are there. So we have preliminary cost is there, simultaneous cost is there. So in simultaneous cost, we don't have the actual value of our activity, because simultaneous cost we are calculating the moment we are going to confirm the production order. So that time we have actual quantities are there, but value we have the planned value. So that is why in month end, when we will go for revaluation, then only actual price will be there. So this column is going to be changed. So initially one value, after that another value will be there. Or you can compare here also. Okay, so like initially it was planned value, but this column is also going to be changed. So in my image it is not there, but it will be there first the planned value, which we are saying simultaneous cost, actual quantity into planned value. Then once again we are going to do the revaluation of our activities, and after that this one is going to. So this revaluation is also one of the month-end activities. Then once the revaluation will be done, then the next activity will be your overhead. calculation. So for whatever production orders, process orders we have, so then we will go for overhead calculation after completion of revaluation of cost. Then only it is going to update. Otherwise it will be zero. During simultaneous cost, your overhead will be it will be zero. Okay, so maybe right now in this image it is not there. So let me show you that what I'm talking. Maybe you are finding little gap here. Just a second, let me show you that. So that PPT I added. Now you can see here, this is after revaluation. Okay, so there was some confusion related to revaluation. So this is after revaluation, but before revaluation, because that is a normal process. Revaluation is your month-end process. So before revaluation, or when you are calculating the simultaneous cost, this will be the figure. Now you can see this is before revaluation. And what about the overhead? Overhead is blank. So you can see overhead is blank, means it is not captured during the confirmation of the production order. And this one right now you can see the figure. You check this PPT, check the figure of our activities and check this figure. So in this case, your actual quantity that we got it from production, but into your plant value. So as it is calculated with plant value, so that is why this revaluation is required. So that is also one of the month-end activities. So once the revaluation will be done, previously overhead was not there. This one, overhead is not there, the circle portion. So overhead need to be calculated for all your open production orders. So after overhead calculation, so this will be there. Okay, so revaluation 1 month-end activity, and your production overhead calculation is also one of the month-end activities. Coming to next one. Same thing, I have segregated here. Okay. Next, coming to next one is my WIP calculation. So this one is my WIP calculation. Now, what is WIP calculation? When we will complete the when we will go for the production, by the month end, all your items will not be completed. In this example, if you'll see here, 5 items we are manufacturing, 4 items actually completed. So 1 item, it is there in the subfloor, and that need to be calculated. So that is your WIP value. So that WIP again need to be evaluated or need to be calculated. So coming to next one of next month end activities, calculation of variance. So in month end, whatever the production orders will be there, so we are going to have 2 status. Either that production order completed, that means whatever we are manufacturing, it's done. Like in this particular production order, this is my production order 14x081. So 2 items we are manufacturing and 2 items yield. So that means 100% completed. So when 100% completed, then we are going to do a comparison between our planned cost as well as actual cost, standard cost with actual cost, and end result will be your variance. Like in this report, you can see here some variance is there after settlement, and that variance also we are going to reflect in different place. That means we are going to reflect this one in our finance. This will be reflected in your first thing is variance calculation. Second one is your variance where we are going to report. So it should be reported in material ledger, it should be reported in margin analysis, and it should be reported in the finance. So if we'll check this particular variance calculation, double KS1, so here variance is calculated, and I got the figure here. Variance calculation, variance amount is 15,5870. So how it is calculated, what its bifurcation, so that you can see here from the above calculations. So once you will do it in system, you will get more clarity. But here you can see variance is calculated after completing all the process, and before variance calculation, your cost allocation must be completed, which I already explained. Your revaluation of your activities must be completed, your overhead must be completed, and production receipt also done. So after that, variance need to be calculated, which I got it here. My value is 15,857, 15,857.20. So this variance should be need to be there, as I said, in different reports. So first is calculation. So it's calculated, and after the calculation, this is just final report. This is variance is calculated and it's working. So then we are going to complete all the production orders. So once you completed your variance, because unnecessary, there is no logic if we are going to leave the production order. So these production orders either technically need to be completed or it need to be closed. So once it will be done, then after that, check once again, what is the variance figure? 15,857. So same, I can see it is there in my margin analysis report, which is we are saying that in COPA, profitability analysis. Same is there in my material ledger also. So this one is here also you can see, check this one, this figure. Okay, so this diagram is a little bit small, but you can get it here, 15,85720. So this is my, because in both report we are going to reflect, in fact in 3 reports we are going to reflect: internal profitability report, which is your margin analysis; external profitability report, that is your income statement; and for inventory valuation point of view. So this is my material ledger, this is my margin analysis, and third one is my FI report, which is my GL report, 15,857. So this will go to your income statement. This is there in the profitability report, and this is for your inventory valuations. So everything is connected with each other. So I just pick one scenario, and everything I'm explaining, and all are your month-end activities. So whether it is variance calculation, whether it is cost allocation, so all are your month-end activities related to controlling. Second option, if production order not completed, so in that case end result will be WIP. Like you can see another production order. The previous production order was 81. This is the production order 14081. Another production order 14080. In this case, we are manufacturing 5 items. By month end, only 4 items completed. So 1 item is work in progress, that also need to be calculated, right? So before this, again, all the process need to be completed. So what is my WIP value? The WIP value is 26909.61. Like in previous example, variance was there. Here it is work in progress. So in balance sheet, we are going to show both FG as well as WIP. Okay, and how it was calculated? This is the calculation. So all these things will be automated. Just we are going to perform the month-end activities, and all this need to be configured by the CO consultant. So if you are watching this video from the user point of view, so these are the activities which user need to perform one by one. And if you are watching from configuration point of view, so related these configurations must be done by the consultant or by you. So this is how the cost is calculated, and all my in bifurcation of cost, different cost components, and this cost is calculated after doing lots of month-end allocations, cost splitting, all these things. So this is my total debit, then delivery, and my difference. So difference is WIP calculated 26,909.61. So which is there exactly in the CO, and this is my PP data. Okay, source. This is my CO data, and this is my same information, just I have given the bifurcation here, and this is a consolidatory figure. It is the bifurcation, and this WIP balance should be there in the FI also. This is my GL account 2014, and with reference to this production order 14x080, this is my value 26,909, which we have seen in our previous report or in our CO report. So now you got some idea about the CO activities. Again, this in another video, I'm going to add some more activities from controlling. I will continue this series, and in another video we will see. Thank you very much for watching this video.